Welcome back to GameStar TV. Ladies and gentlemen, you are here because you love Heroes of the Storm, and the games tonight are absolutely delivering. We're about to go into game number 3 of this best-of-3 series between Darksided and Nomia. Darksided picked up the first map. Nomia just picked up the second map on stream on Battlefield of Eternity. And get your PogChamps out because we have got a game on our hands. It's all about the spice here in ANZ. The Asmodan pick didn't really come off for the Darksided lads there, but the Fat 94 Tracer to counter Hacky to get in deep and then get out was superb. And I think that might have just rattled Darksided a little bit. We'll be able to see that as we go into Brax's holdout for game number 3 here for this final round of the playoffs. Just a quick note. NMD have actually lost to Team Milkshake, so we have got ourselves a brand new top 4 competitor. Congratulations to Team Milkshake. They will get tomorrow night off. They will not have to re-qualify. They'll go straight through to next week's playoffs. So congratulations to first-timers. All of that hard work they've been putting in has paid off. So shout out to all the teams that have been able to scrim them as well. But like we mentioned, this one's going to be on Braxis. We've got that giveaway to get through as well. So ! GS Hots for the final time into the Twitch chat. Make sure you are following the channel or otherwise you're going to miss out, unfortunately. But here we go. Let's get it underway. I'm going to pass you back to Skimmy and Vandy for the final game tonight. It's going to be Darksided versus Nomia on Braxis.
That it is. What an interesting game. Games 1 and 2 could not be so dissimilar. And now we come to Braxis Holdout, another map in the ANZ scene that is, it has a bit of a reputation, probably the best way to say it, Vandy. Neither loved nor hated, but definitely not preferred.
Definitely not preferred, but I think a lot of that rep has slowly shifted. When Hanamura came out, actually, a lot of players were hating it. We never actually got to see Hanamura's debut. People felt it was so bad. Blizzard actually pulled it back in. They're doing some tweaks. You can only play in customs. It's just a blip in the radar, really. And as of that, I feel like people are a lot more accepting of Braxis and Warhead Junction.
They have their own little flavors that you can add to it. Definitely it comes to the ability to have sustain, especially in the category of support. So expect to see the Pocket Morales always be a threat from Moops. Otherwise, Stukov may have a bit of influence in this draft. We've seen some very, not standard, but some slightly adapted drafting with Garrosh finding a lot of love so far. But Testa, for the first time in a while between these two teams, is going to be considered. Otherwise, Vala is an interesting one. It's once again another target towards Fat 94, but they are going to opt for the flavor, and rightfully so. Taking away Tessida.
It showed that they were just running away with the game. Last time and this time, Nomi, they have learnt as well that Garrosh being taken off the board. So we can see both teams have evolved their drafts and their bans as the night has gone on. Very, very interesting. Gul'dan works exceptionally well on this map. So essentially how you want to play Braxis is you've got that one solo lane, you want them to win it because then you can have that top lane done and dusty. You don't worry about it. 4-man committed to the bot lane, work on winning that lane. Get both the beacons and the rest is history. Use the Zerg wave to GG as win.
I love that little sort of poem that you read to us there. That's your bedtime story if you're in ANZ right now. So night with Vandy, but let's talk about the game itself. Garrosh is gone, Gul'dan is in. If you can't get one ult, get another, and instantly response. Literally no hesitation, the quickest lock-in I've ever seen. Stitches and Mouth. Now this one is always a good one to see. Stitches, a lot of love from the boys of Darksided, but the combo obviously so obvious. Hook into root, easy peasy in that regard. And I said it, I called it. Moops on the Morales, the Pocket on Gul'dan. Definitely one to watch out for.
Mm-hmm. He provides a lot of that sustain that you can get and win that bottom lane. So as we said, it's all about winning your lanes, and that's how you ultimately can win this map. And it's so important. Morales provides a sustain. Gul'dan, as we know, you have to sacrifice your health to get mana. Don't worry about it. Spam it all you like. You've got the Morales, the heal bot there, if you will, to actually help you out on that one. And interestingly enough, this might be one of the last few patches we'll ever get to see Morales doing that with the changes on the PTR in mind for her. Now she'll be trading out. She'll have hope, just like Oriel.
Yeah, these are both heroes that Moops loves, so it'll be interesting to see how he decides to play in that one. But let's talk about this. It's the Ragnaros that's been giving them nightmares all day long, and they are going to take it away on a map which can do so much work with it once again. And Chromie being banned away by Darksided themselves, saying, look, we know this is such a strong pick that even us, the team that are renowned for, are scared of Nomia picking it up.
They really, really are. They showed that they had the precedence on to Gul'dan and Lieutenant Morales, as well as Murid, and they wanted to secure all of these picks. What did that mean? Chromie's left for the pickings. Nomia, they're showing that they're adapting as well, not afraid to use what Darkseid have used against them in the past. But as well as Skimmy, they've taken their mage of choice. So the Chromie ban, not too surprising.
I was going to say Greymane would seem a little bit obvious to most, but I mean, Gul'dan as a first pick is a big deterrent towards that with the Horrify to prevent him. And because they had the stitches in mouth, you'd think, cool, that's fantastic. Lock that person in place, acting like a very untaunt, easy curse bullet. But no, they say, look, we can afford to exploit a comp like this. Li Ming and Genji, the reset duo. If they get one kill, the fight is essentially over. Very hard to make mistakes there because you are just dashing around, causing all kinds of problems. And your FPS goes through the roof.
FPS, APM, we can throw all those gaming slang terminology at you for days. But I love that duo that they are, Skimmy. We need to come up with something better, but I guess they're the reset duo for now. And it's so much precedence, so much importance on getting a kill. That Morales now is looking like an extra juicy target. In fact, anyone squishy is looking like an extra juicy target. What you trade off for the Genji, however, is a bit of that wave clear.
I mean, that's the case, really. I mean, it's looking all in favor of Gul'dan, and we're playing the wave clearing game, but if I was Morales, I'd be extremely scared right now. They are going to go for the Greymane, so they're going to take it on their side. A smart choice. Will do a lot of work, especially against Genji, but this is the good one. Dahaka has been taken, but Zagara, I don't think we've ever seen this in ANZ, or especially not for a very long time. Seems a little bit flavor of how NA like to play this map, so really cool to see Zagara coming out.
It is. It's something different, something new. Like you said, ANZ really shying away from her. She's fallen out of popularity in our meta, at least. I've seen her on the international scale. This is Nomia. They're learning from their opponents. They're learning from watching the international scene, adapting strategies for their own. Will it pay off? I want to wait and see because, as you said, Dahaka, so much more of a more normal meta pick. And that Greymane, I love it as well from Demise. He's just a king on this map, the poke that he gives, as well as just giving that dive. They need to take out one of the squishies on the side of Nomia in these fights.
It's going to be a case of execution. If I was Moops, I'd be extremely scared of where I was because you got the threat of the hook, you got the threat of two people looking to try and take you down and start the ball rolling with that reset. But I mean, when it comes to the Dahaka-Zagara matchup, in my opinion, I mean, it's not a matchup I played in such a long time. I had to refresh my memory if you know any better, but I'm pretty sure Zagara just wins that one. You press W and it's easy GG.
Essentially, yes. The poke, and pressure that Zagara can get from the Hydralisk. It's either Hydralisk or Mutalisk. Can't quite remember the name, but the flying one that harasses you and you go back and you're like, why are you still following me? It does end up winning that match. Or should, sorry. It always does come down to execution on the player side.
Not to mention the Creep Tumor is going to provide them with so much vision for the rotations. And we've seen, traditionally speaking, Medivac being chosen as that cooldown on Moops when he is playing the Maras as opposed to the Stim drone. So rotations will be the name of the game, allowing the team to rotate as quickly as the Dahaka. Be pretty careful, though, with those Vacs because, I mean, they can always work out, but there's always that slim chance that it can be a bit of a sad Vac.
And I mean, what I'd really like to see Darkseid do, Zagara, is just so immobile. You need the rotations coming out early because of the poke potential she can dish on out and her ability to win this lane. So immediately there were 3 members on top sent. Sashi does get the drag out onto Ryu, but this is just warning shots. They might actually opt for a 2-3 lane split up on the side of Darkseid to make sure Zagara doesn't run away with the lane.
We're just respecting this and saying, look, I actually cannot deal with this. I can never get in close enough range to trade with her. I'm going to be pretty weak into level 4 until I can get my minion damage anyway. Actually, I'm just going to burrow to the bot lane and try and force the fight. He comes across. The root is there. The drag is even better. And Malfurion's gone for a very quick first blood for Darksided.
Absolutely perfect rotation. Knew when you needed to leave the lane, and it's perfect because no experience is lost. You still have Demise to soak up that lane. That's utilizing the best of their global pressure. And Darksided, they're showing, Nami, if you're going to take us to this, you also need to be worried, need to be expecting the ganks that we can provide through that Dahaka.
A bit of a wedding for a mate in the brush there. He meets Panther. And they collaborate on some tanking strategy. Stun hits the face, and that's all about that's going to happen. As the team are looking to try and follow things up, but obviously Panther always looking for that hook. Moops joins in, gets the sustain, but gotta be careful. They are going to find the hook onto Robodoba, but it's not going to connect. So really, the precedence, as you're saying, is really in favor of Nomia. They have to try and find these kills, and they have to try and get the ball rolling.
They do. It comes down to these team fights. As long as Moves is, however, just left to his own devices, he can spam out the heals quite comfortably. It gets dangerous when the hook is on him like that. There was no follow-up.
And once again, Session is finding these drags. Exceptional work so far to start off these rotations whenever that Brush Stalker is available. He does have the healing from Moops, and he's not too phased with his minor reserves. He's quite healthy in that regard. Going to go for that tap regardless as we go into the beacon phase. This is the long haul. And this is when teams start to duke it out. And this is where it's going to work in favor of Darksided if they play it slow and sustained. So really it is on Nomia to find these hooks, which they missed, unfortunately, there. But if they do connect, they command this bottom lane.
Mind you, Skimmy, we always say it. It comes down to that one game-changing hook. You can miss them for days, but when it really counts in the mid to late game, it's just one hook. That's all that counts. So they'll always have that up their sleeve. We have seen Nomia, they cap the bottom beacon. However, because of that constant pressure, if not from Demise, from Sashin coming to join him, and they're putting a lot of pressure onto Ryu to the point where he cannot even walk to that beacon. So Nomia need to keep this bottom lane one. They need to keep this beacon secure.
Yeah, and they need to find some kills because right now this is a favorable trade for them, and that's it. As we talk about it, the damage comes across. Safeguard going to do a lot of work to prevent that one shot coming across. Hacky playing with Death. He does survive, and Moops does a fantastic job at making sure he stabilizes there. But you're saying, no, when the lane is a 4v3, you should be commanding it, and that's what they're looking to do.
You need to be commanding it. However, as we've seen the name of the game, Sashin, anytime Brush Stalker's up, anytime that Robodoba's able to start connecting, see if they've got anyone out of position, he'll be there. He'll be ready to burrow on down. So although it appears to be a 3v4, it's actually a 4v4. It's just that Sashin's there in ghost form. Oh, but Demise has joined the fray. They're changing something up. In fact, they've got 5 members committed to the spot lane.
Oh, Session once again tries to go for the Brush Stalker, but the route is met there, and Villa does it perfectly to make sure that nobody does get taken away for free. The stalemate, such a slow and calculated game to start things off. Nobody overextending, nobody doing anything too crazy just yet, and no percentage has been acquired on this beacon. So until somebody makes a mistake, until somebody's picked off, we are playing the long one.
Really are. It comes down to who gets the kill and then who can command the beacons. However, now Darkside, they're finally capping some progress onto this. Ryu, he's trying to get onto the beacon. Still needs to poke down Sashin.
Yeah, they sneak in, 30%, 28% to be exact. And that's not too bad in the long run here. They're doing quite good work in controlling how the Zagara is working in the top lane. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, I mean, both Hacky and Moops are doing great in their positioning, making sure that Penti can never find a clear, easy hook. And he's looking for it because Vinoda's being so on point with these routes so far. And that's going to be the case here is, look, we can try and establish it now. You're busy with the camp, and we can try and get 28% ourselves.
I like this from Fat94. He's trying to stall the beacon. Being captured back on the side of Darksided. However, now they have the siege minions working for them. Nomia need to respond to this, either clear it out. We do see Ryu uncontested. He's pushing in that top lane. That's exactly what we want. Finally, we can see Sashin. He's burrowing on in. Look at the vision control coming out on the side of Zagara. That's exactly what you were saying, Skimmy. You get so much vision advantage. Finally, Fat94 with the gank onto Sashin.
And Sashin is a whole lot of trouble right now, and so is Hacky in the bot lane. The root connects after the hook. Sashin is still living for the meantime. He's dragging away Fat94 down to 200. The Swift Strike says see ya, and they pick up their very first blood. And I mean, the long game we were talking about, it is working in their favor, and primarily because there's no ammo in those towers now. So yes, it's slow. Yes, it's not the most attractive style of HOTS, but it gets kills and it gets wins as Gul'dan falls in the bot lane too.
This is massive for Nomia. Finally, they can have the pressure that they need to capture this bottom beacon and get that all-important percentage ticking away to unleash the Zerg wave. That's the siege potential that they need because, as you said, they have the fight, sure. The siege, not so much. They need the objective to do it for them.
Oh, and the hook finding Moops Sniper. As Penta locks him in his sights, but Vanilla just did not have the route available at that time. Otherwise, that would have been a dead medic. And this beacon, as a result, regardless if he was dead or not, is working in their favor. Up to 90% Session only now beginning the channel. Is it going to be enough? 98. It isn't. He nearly gets to his Fat94, jumps across the shrub. And the first beacon, after 6 minutes, 100% to Nomia.
Dahaka, he just wavered for a moment there. He was torn between whether he needed to defend the fort or defend the beacon. And that hesitation is what cost him arguably both. It depends on how much Nomia can get out of this. Gul'dan arguably very, very strong at clearing out the waves, same as Greyman. And look at this, Skimmy, I like this strategy. What they're doing is that they're not even allowing the wave to reach their fort. They're keeping the shots together. They know that moves to sustain is enough, especially because Ryu is the only one there. Nomia, however, that leaves the bottom exposed for them to work their way. It's a trading of the objectives. Both teams playing this one quite strategically.
I'd argue that is as much as the play from Darksider was fantastic. Nomia just one step ahead of the game. They realize that, yeah, both Greyman and Gul'dan do so much in wave clear that say, look, we can't really get too much in this. Why don't we just push out another lane? We're going to be far closer to reaching level 10 as a result of this. And much the same as we saw on game number 1, where it came to Infernal Shrines, open up the map, open up these conditions for these Zerg waves then to pass through.
However, Skimmy, the kills, as well as how much Nomia is in command of the structural advantage that they got, it means that they've hit that all-important level 10. Heroics are now coming online. Nomia, they will start to turn up the aggression. They need to capitalize on this. When you hit level 10, we always say it's so important to make a play because this is an advantage you have over the opposing team.
And Rio is going to unlock the Nidus network and is going to chuck out a big shout out to Session saying, look, mate, you think you can brush Stalker? Watch what I can do. So they're going to join the party in that same regard. Level 10 is there. Nowhere near enough XP for Darkseid to reach this in time. The boss is picked up and it all comes down to Genji, that level 7 talent, the perfect defense, allowing him to pick up this boss perfectly easily.
It's disgusting to watch, for lack of a better meaning. I mean, there's no siege coming out. However, Genji is the boss killer, if you will, on this map and this map alone because of the fast animation. You can just see he made absolutely short mincemeat of the boss, and they're able to capture that, and they are poised. That's the advantage that I wanted Nomia to do. They're using that level 10. They know that Darkseid had to play quite passively, and this is netting them a lot of value.
This really is. If they can try and find some kills from this as a result with one fantastic hook from Penta, this opens up the potential to go for a keep as well. Hook goes out, the root is there, but it's not going to go for the demise. He realizes what was about to happen, but regardless, that boss is healthy. The Putrid Ball is going to prevent them chasing on in. That keep is falling. It's down to half already, Vandy, as Ryu joins the fight himself.
They don't yet have 10. You can see Darkseid, they're just waiting. They're trying to defend their keep. It does fall. This is mammoth. This is monumental. This is what Nomia wanted. Because now they have that additional pressure. Also, not this Zerg wave, but the Zerg wave after, it will rush straight on, escorted to the keep. That's almost a win condition set up there, if you will.
Level 10's unlocked, as you mentioned, Vandy, and it is going to be the medevac once again, so looking to try and revolve around with their rotations, following Dahaka. And he's been having a bit of a rough game. This Zagara really keeping him in check, and I mean, as we say, the draft, it was really one step ahead. That flex pick at the very end, taking a note out of NA. People say, well, why don't you follow EU? Because EU are the best region in the world. But they say, look, we can make NA work, and that's what we're going to do. Going for the claps in bot lane, the heals are there into Sashin. It's going to be Greyman in the top lane up against Rhea right now. The Curse Split comes across, a lot of damage, but it's not enough to find that kill.
Not yet. So finally, Darkseid, they're capping the beacon. Nomia have to fight back. They're at a disadvantage, so they're so close to level 13. With a kill, it should be enough.
The theory is there, it's fantastic as Fat 94 begins the Dragon Blade animation, hacking and slashing his way to victory. Can he find one target? Drag is there, not going to get anybody as a result. Cooldowns are burnt, and the value is pretty insignificant. The pause has come across. What's still available? We still have the Medivac, and we still have the Twilight Dream. And those could be crucial in turning things around. Taking a note of the UI itself, 74% of this beacon to 12 acquired by Darksided.
I really love it. Was a great disengage on the side of Darksided there. They committed the resources they needed to, but more importantly, they got out. If they had given a kill then, it would have given Nomia level 13, empowered them, made them even stronger. Perhaps even then, they could have pushed. They're so close to that bottom lane. When you've got that outer left or taken, it opens up a lot of the map to be controlled by Nomia, and it just makes it so much more riskier for Darkseid. When you're retreating, Nomia, they can pursue for days. It's not that structure deterring you, just saying, come and fight me. No, they can just chase you for days and get more kills.
Regardless of the ultimates that have been burned, the advantage still is in favor of Nomia. Regardless, even on top of things, the fact they'll hit 13, that's definitely an icing on the cake. But they have the hook potential, and they've got the double reset, so that's always a threat. You've always got to keep that in mind. And the hook connects. It lands with the root there, and look at Moops instantly taking on down the Twilight Dream, the only ultimate they needed. And that was as clean as you'll ever want to see it.
We said Moops needed to be scared this game. He needed to be scared because there's so many tools Nomia have at their disposal to take him out. Penta showed with one hook how easy it was for them to make mincemeat out of 4 Moops. He's just a sitting duck. That is the disadvantage of Morales. She can heal for days, sure, but she's also very susceptible to dive.
And just like that, the Banelings and the Zerg are switched in favor of Nomia, 100% to 74%. But I mean, look how much work Ryu is going to make of that one. Nidus Network is available whenever he needs to join the party. He's going to clear things up with assistance from their cannons, mind you, as well. So this isn't going to net much value. This is all about bot lane right now. And the hook, once again, onto Demise. The preemptive cleanse is good. Worrying times for Darkside of Vandy.
I mean, let's talk about what that kill or moves meant for Darkside as well. They had to back away because they had no healer. Luckily, death timers, they're not too long yet. We're still just getting to mid-game now. And what that means is Moops is back to defend against this, but look at the push coming out now, Darksided. You don't want to be behind on a map like Braxis because it can be so snowbally, so punishing. As you said, Ryu as well, he's got that Nidus network there. His team have called him there. Perhaps they wanted to see if they could push more, finish off that keep. It barely lives. But this is it's almost exposed on both lanes on the side of Darksided. All it will now take is a decisive team fight from Nomia to go for the win.
I mean, just look at the desperation that came out from Darksided there. They realized, look, we're not going to have 13. This keeper's going to fall. We have to do something. Otherwise, we just lose the game. It was a 4v5 situation. The Brush Stalker from Session comes across. The bluff was called, and it actually has done its job if you think about it. The keep still remains in the bottom lane. They definitely need that pressure still working in their favor. They're going to begin this camp. They do pick it up for free. No invade comes across. Now they're biding their time because level 13 is the focus, but Session... Oh no, unfortunately caught out the wrong place at the wrong time. The 13 may be insignificant with him down for 20.
Anytime Darksided end up losing a team member, it just means Nomia is able to capitalize even harder, get that chokehold that they've got on the maps, really solidify and cement their lead. With that boss being up, we're going to see Genji doing dirty deflect things. As I said, he is the boss kill on this map. It's not going to go uncontested though, Darksided. They sense what's up.
Look at how much damage Stitches is taking, combined with the boss as well as the Curse Bullet. All things considered, he did absolutely get destroyed. Gul'dan with the fear in the backline, but it just does not matter. We talked about it. The fear. Look at the boss. The boss is the MVP. He takes out Genji after his Queen House for free, and now it's Session and Free boys saying, how are ya? Let's pick up the boss.
Oh my goodness, the boss, as you said, was MVP. Whoever was in the boss's sights was going down. Doesn't matter about teams. Darksided, Nomia, all cannon fodder to the boss, especially when you're trying to deal with the opposing team. This is good for Nomia. What this means is with the wipe, they can finally close their keep. I don't think they'll be able to go for the win yet, but they can definitely apply some pressure, keep the lane going. Now rotate, seek value in the top lane because there's also a wave being escorted into the keep. It's a lot for Darkseid to worry about, as well as that boss.
I mean, it's conflicting, right? You've got level 16 over your opponents, a full talent tier advantage, one of the best talent tiers to reach, but you don't have your 5-man squad, so the safe call has been made. Let's just go for the camps, and let's go for these beacons. They get the full channel. With this one, as you mentioned before, Vandy, it will push that top lane, and it will do work. This is the Hail Mary play that's about to come out. The Medivac, going top lane. This is blind. They are hoping for the best.
They really are. They know that it's do or die now. They are a talent tier advantage down. They're almost 2 levels down. They just wanted to get the beacon, stall the inevitable. There's just so much red painting the map. That is Nomia, as I said, dominating. Showing that you just give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. I said it, and I'll say it again, because they're proving it to be so true.
This is going to be the biggest uphill battle they have to face this game so far. 72% on that beacon in favor of Nomia, and they are just commanding this top lane. They're looking for it. The hook is there! Moop, see you later, champ. You are taking out the fight before you can do absolutely anything. The fear is there, but what does it matter? He just falls on down. Triple kill for their efforts. Nomia just putting on a masterclass. They've recovered from game number 1. They get the kills. They get the clean ace. Looking for their 5th and final kill. And who better to take out than their last player? It is Robodobo, the ex-tank of Nomia. And that's going to be game.
Yep, the nail in the coffin there. The final team fight did it. As we said, Darkseid, they were clutching on straws, but they knew they had to do it. Otherwise, you would just passively lose. Zergwave was going to spell imminent doom anyway. Nomia cleanly taking out the series tonight by winning Brax's holdout. What an action-packed night, Skinny.
What an action-packed night indeed, with some crazy drafts and a bit of innovation and a bit of crazy flair to top things off with. And that's going to mean Nomia going into week number 4 will have the first seed, not to mention the 2-1 lead in their head-to-head matchup against Darkseid. It's a pride, whatever you want to call it. It must feel good to finish off this night. But that just does it for us. Myself and Vanny, what a wonderful time we've had. But to close things out, back to Kitfox.
Thank you, Skimmy and Vandy and Nomia, just flexing their muscles, proving why they are indeed the strongest team in ANZ at the moment. They didn't just snowball that game. It was an absolute avalanche, especially with Zagara on their side. You're going to have a bad time. Unfortunately for Darksided, they lose, but it's not all bad for them. They do qualify for the playoffs next week. So four teams that have qualified, Nomia, Darksided, Crimson, and for the first time, congratulations to Team Milkshake, who defeated NMD in the lower bracket finals. So that is your four teams for next week. Every other team will have the opportunity to qualify again tomorrow night here on GameStar TV at the same time of 7:30. But before we hand it over to the end of the broadcast, we've got that raffle to draw. So you've been typing !GS Hots into the Twitch chat all night. Jim Jam was the victor of the first loot chest bundle thanks to Blizzard ANZ. Will it be you next? So our producer is going to rattle that cage, close off the raffle, and get into the draw. And it looks as though I cannot pronounce that name. It's a bunch of numbers and letters, but he's a follower. So congratulations to A69 Alphabet. Congratulations. You win the 12 chess bundles thanks to Blizzard ANZ. Man, I thought I had a bad time at Gamescom with the bloody names. Oh, never mind. Congratulations to everybody tonight. Congratulations to the entire team. Congratulations to those four teams mentioned. Crisis, the producer, Evexium and Grumpshot on the admins. GL Phoenix on the offline VOD records. Myself, Kit Fox, your host. And thank you to everybody in the Twitch chat. Stay tuned tomorrow night for those qualifiers. Later in the week as well, we've got Paladins. On Sunday, we've got Injustice. There's just so much esports coming at you here at GameStar. You don't want to miss any of it. So on behalf of the team here at GameStar, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to the pleasure of your company next time.